Ooh, I was doing right. There we go. Woo! How is everyone? I've not been live in a while. How's the audio? I think I've identified that the background white noise last time was the fan on my MacBook, which I don't quite understand because the microphone's right here. But, so how it's picking up the sound, I don't know. Sweet, cool. Welcome everyone. So this is going to be quite a chill stream, to be honest. I've not been live in a few weeks, and then before that I've been live for like 6 months. But I've been making some changes to the stream setup, so I thought it was a good time to go live and try it out. So I've got a Stream Deck now, so the first time ever I could hit the button, and we've even got sound effects if we need them later. Still got the same microphone, but yeah, hopefully the audio is better. I've got the Stream Deck, but one of the other interesting things I've done is moved over to Twitch Studio. Now, most people use OBS or Streamlabs, but I'm on a Mac, and I recently saw that I saw a tweet from Jennifer Wadella, who mentioned that she's found that Twitch Studio is much less resource hungry on a MacBook. So I'm like, okay, I'll give it a go. So if you don't know, Twitch Studio is the much simplified version of like OBS or Streamlabs. So it means it's much easier to get started and set up layouts and stuff. And even this layout that I've got now with the orange box was all thanks to Twitch Studio. So that made it really easy. The only downside is that I've spotted so far is, and this is minor, is it doesn't support text files, like reading text files that constantly update. So I use an app written by James Montemagno called My Stream Timer, which you can set up to run a countdown, a count up, or whatever. And then it writes it out to a text file. So something like Streamlabs or OBS would be able to read that text file and constantly update, so you could have a countdown timer. Twitch Studio doesn't support that, so that's why the Starting Soon didn't have a countdown timer. It's a shame because I know from people who've mentioned research and studies that if you don't know when someone's starting, when you see a Starting Soon screen, you're more likely to lose interest. But I'm happy to overlook that if our stream setup's more streamlined and we can do some cool things. So we got raided by CLW, the one and only. So everyone who's here from CLW stream, welcome. I'm Luce Carter. I'm a Microsoft MVP. Oh, we have a new follower, Suave Pirate. Thanks for the follow and welcome to the family. So I'm Luce Carter. I'm a Microsoft MVP. I work for a customer who call themselves customer first retail data science platform, world's first. But yeah, so I work for a company called dunnhumby. They have no connection to the stream whatsoever. They're just a really good company to work for. But yeah, so I'm a Microsoft MVP and also a Twilio champion. So sometimes you'll see the stream, we do a bit of Twilio Quest. Sometimes we do stuff that's more directly Microsoft related, and that's what today's will be. I've not been live in a while, so this is going to be pretty chill, but it's mainly to just test the setup, and I want to try an idea I've had, and I thought this perfect timing, let's get some crowdsourcing help. So what's the plan? So actually, he's in this chat. So the great Gerald, or JF, I'm going to butcher his surname. I'm so sorry. JF Versluis. I should be able to speak Dutch better. Yeah, in the chat, he wrote a really great blog post recently, which I'll actually. No, it wasn't a blog post. He released. That is you. Yes, he released. You can see all my dodgy suggestions. I just read it. Yeah, he released a video this morning. I think it was. Feel free. That's because I'm opening YouTube. Scrap that. Okay. So basically, Gerald, feel free to drop a link to this. But he released a video this morning or yesterday on a plugin that you can use with Xamarin.Forms, and some other platforms called microcharts, and it was really easy to get started. But one of the things that Gerald had in his application was just a block along the top in blue with some text on it. But it made me think that would look so cool as a rainbow box along the top of text as like a header for an application. So that is today. Today I want to try and play with the new brushes that have been brought into, I think it's Xamarin.Forms 4.7, and see if we can get a rainbow box put in. Now this does mean we have to put gradient stop end and stops and points in, and I'm not too sure about it. So this is going to be a team effort. Let's get started. Has anyone here not heard of Xamarin before and just wants a quick overview of what it is? Okay, I've just been so Gerald has just corrected me. The blue box is actually part of the new Forms blank app template. That's cool. Oh, it's actually hanging in, sort of. I mean, yeah, my CPU is maxing out a little bit. I don't quite know what to do about that. I mean, it says that it's my stream's good quality according to Twitch Studio, but then we actually drill down into it. It's not great. Hey, welcome, Cobra Sean. So exciting to see so many people here. Oh, and you follow her. Thank you. Welcome. So, yeah, so I really like Xamarin today. Oh, .com is followed as well. Thank you. This is the most followers I've ever had during a live stream. I know it's only like 3 or 4, but this is so exciting. So, yes, as I said, I work for a data science company. I'm a Microsoft MVP, and I love Xamarin. Oh, sweet. So Cobra Sean has just said he's an MVP as well. It's a great community to be a part of. But yeah, so as you might have seen if you follow, or as you might see in future, or you follow me on Twitter, because I do auto tweets when I go live, is I like to call my stream an imposter syndrome battleground. So like with a lot of other streamers, including people who are in the chat right now, who I watch, regularly, almost every stream, it's a very welcoming space. I don't even write code as a day job anymore. I was a developer and have been for a long time, but I was working on a very large, complicated mixture of code, up to 15 years old code base, and my mental health just took a hit because I just couldn't problem solve enough, and my imposter syndrome got the better of me, and so I went, no, I'm out. So that's why I actually do QA now. So at the moment, I've just moved to doing automated testing with Cypress, so I do get to write some code, but I've not been writing code for a while. So this is always going to be a welcoming stream where people can ask questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question. You can stop me if something doesn't make sense. And obviously, it's important that people are welcoming in the chat. Oh, thanks for that. So Silicon Orchid has just said you don't need to worry about imposter syndrome, at least not from us on the outside looking in. And then Cobra Sean has said the thing about imposter syndrome, you're never alone. So many have it. I have for many years. Yep. Well, this is why I'm so open about it, because whether it's imposter syndrome, mental health, or something else, it's something that a lot of us all experience. And, like with rubber duck debugging, when you talk about it, it fires different neurons in your mind and thinking about it or writing it. So by just being really open and just literally branding this stream, that's branding, that sounds so PR, but as pitching this stream as an imposter syndrome battleground, the idea is that we just come, give it a go. If it doesn't work, oh well, we're just supportive. It's just a bunch of friends that get together and chat, have a laugh, maybe share some jokes, because who doesn't like to laugh? But so John's just said, I don't think I have imposter syndrome. I actually am an imposter. Constantly feel like I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, that's not true. But that's okay. If you feel like that, well, I'm sure we've all felt like that, and we're all here to be supportive of each other. You know, this is a friendly stream. I don't start the stream with a code of conduct, but obviously, you know, let's be nice to each other. Let's not be, you know, to be supportive. You know, it's a nice place. I like to think of chat and streams as where friends come to hang out, because a lot of the time, familiar faces show up. But that's enough chatting from me. Let's have some fun. So let's just load Visual Studio. Things over here. So we're going to start a brand new app. And hopefully we'll have an excuse to use my one audio clip that I set on my stream deck. Having a stream deck's quite cool. I did set up featured chatbot. I need to grab it for next stream. I won't faff around now because I've already talked too much. But yeah, Cobra Sean has just made a really valid point, which is none of us know everything, and you know more than you let on, and more helpful to others than you may feel. Absolutely. I think sometimes you don't realise directly when you've helped somebody, because we don't automatically go, oh yeah, you know, you did this or whatever, or that was great. And I think we should do it more. Like, I always try, if someone's done something really helpful or whatever, it's just give them some credit for it. So like with Jennifer's tweet before, like, Jennifer really is the reason why I moved to Twitch Studio, so it's deserved a mention. But yeah, you never know when you've had an impact on somebody. And the other thing I always say as well is that the only person you have control over what they think, feel, say is yourselves. So you can't rely on anyone else to be kind to you. I mean, okay, you'd like to think that people can be kind, but you can only rely on yourself. So be kind to yourself, because at least then you know you've always got at least one person in your corner. Yeah, so that's what this is about. Just a chill place to come and write some code, have some fun. So let's get started. So we will make the font bigger in a minute, I promise. But yeah, we want blank forms up in C#. I was starting to do F# the other day because I have a talk where I demo how Xamarin.Forms works, which is cross-platform UI, and the way that it's all native build tools and SDKs and stuff under the hood. So it's the same for Xamarin, Android, iOS, UWP, etc. Not Xamarin. Xamarin's not platform. Yeah, iOS, Android, UWP, etc. Because of it's all native at compile time, you have no idea what it was made in, but also because Xamarin's .NET, it also supports F#. So in my talk, I just do a very simple counter app in C# and then bring up a Blue Peter style. Here's what I prepared earlier. If you've ever watched British TV, you might know Blue Peter, the old children's show. That reference will make sense to you. It basically that they always showing you how to make things, and they'd always have one that they made earlier that they'd pull out, and they'd always say, "Here's what I made earlier." So yeah, so I always pull out the "Here's what I made earlier" because I'd never live code F# during a talk, but I wanted to update it to update one of the libraries because it's changed names completely since I wrote the app. So that's why this is F#. But fear not, people, this is going to be a C# stream. I can't do a poll actually, but what is everyone's favourite language? We're going to do a Corey Weathers style question of the day. So question of the day, I write it in chat as well. Where are you from? What is your favourite language? We'll put programming language. Yeah. Just get to know each other. There's 18 people watching right now, which I think is the most I've ever had, which is super awesome. And thanks so much for sticking around. But yeah, let's just get to know each other a bit. So, what we're going to call this to make something fun. Let's see, what should we make? I mean, most of this is going to be about the box, and because I imagine it's really warm in the UK at the moment and very humid. So I don't know how long I'll be live for, but let's give it a go. So let's see. Let's make Pretty Playground. I can always copy the code into a proper project once we work it out. But you know, this is about making something pretty, so we're going to make a pretty playground. We're not going to worry about anything else in here, so let's just make it. Nice. So Kobe Sean from Tulsa in Oklahoma, John's from San Diego in California, and both like C#. UI testing, and one of the things that I've noticed is that I'm doing UI testing against a React project, and we use some third-party components and some other bits that dynamically generate the components, like however much you need based on the data passing. So there's no way to identify the bits out of the box. If you want to say, hey, go to this, like, I don't know, heading and this got value, go and grab this value so we can do some comparison. Start adding an attribute to the HTML tag to get a specific ID that we can call. So yeah, I wasn't even writing C# today. Cool. I'm so cool over here. I've got something called key passer installed, which when I do key combinations, it shows them on the screen. Because if I'm using keyboard shortcuts and not moving the mouse around, see what I want it on a different screen. Keystroke play, font size. I don't know how to move it to a different screen. It might be because I'm using it. Must be a way. Keycast preference. Nope. Okay, that's yak shaping and it doesn't matter. But yeah, the idea is that it's supposed to show what keyboard commands I'm pressing so that you can see, but it's showing on the wrong screen. So we'll fix that for future reference. But yeah, okay, let's just get Visual Studio to open because I don't want to. I don't think my CPU is having a great time. Is the stream still alright though, quality-wise? Like, because I have a lot of, between terrible internet despite living 2 miles from a city centre, and yeah, so between terrible internet and like CPU throttling on my MacBook, it can get a bit iffy, as Silicon Orchid kindly mentioned earlier. What's it doing? Right, let's try Visual Studio again. We will get to writing some code. This is why I always tell people like CLW. I don't have shit installed, but I'm just going to give them a reason that a lot of you are here. So, yeah, so Corey always talking about the fact that he, and actually Chatterbox code the same as colleague Nathaniel, always talk about not writing much code and doing too much chatting. So yeah, it happens. Try to write code. But let's see, apparently my CPU doesn't like Visual Studio. And alas, I know you can run as Xamarin apps from Visual Studio Code, but it requires an extension and it's just a less positive experience. Visual Studio. Xamarin is right, but let's be honest, life's hard enough. Let's just stick to an IDE that I know works well. I don't know how to use it. As I mentioned, this is the imposter syndrome battleground, so we're not going to make life codes. Cool. Got a solution here. We're plugging code. This audio file. Woo, so we're going to write some code. So if you've not seen, let's make it bigger. If you've not seen a Xamarin solution before, I will talk you through the solution in a second. and the projects in it. You're used to some stuff like console apps. You're not used to seeing multiple projects in a solution, but we'll get to that. Let's just make everything a bit bigger. It's might be a bit big. 16. Nope, not 186. 16. Nope. Apparently, I can't write a 6 today. There we go. 1666, no. 16, nope. 16. There we go. That took longer than really. 16. Nope. What am I doing? Okay, we'll make it 18 then if that's what you want. Oh, I can do it manually, that's cool. There we go. Well, that took longer than it should have done. Let's just make this 16. Wow, this is slow. Nope. It says 1665 then. Really? Make it 18. Down. Well, it's just to make code readable, eh? 15 will be close enough. The rest will be okay. Okay. Cool. So, right, so go to the solution. So you've got these 3 projects here. So this is Xamarin.Forms. So for those of you that maybe don't know, Xamarin is now owned by Microsoft technology that's basically a thin wrapper, a thin .NET wrapper around the native SDK for mobile applications, but more than mobile applications these days. So you can use C# and F# to write apps for iOS, Android, UWP, sounds, fridges, TVs, watches, Apple Watches, Apple TVs, Xbox, because that's UWP, all sorts of things. It's brilliant because a lot of us are developers, and it means that we can use the language and the IDE and just general experience that we know and love. And as I said, it is just a thin wrapper. So once it gets down to actually compiling the code, it uses all the native build tools. So all the controls are completely native because it's well and truly stepped away from that C like .NET level by the time it ends up on your phone or device. So it's brilliant because you get 100% native access to all the controls. So some alternatives like React Native or Flutter, for example, they require something to be done to make you able to use the new features, say when iOS comes out or new OS in general, whether it's something else. Whereas because the neighbors and Microsoft, and before it's Xamarin as a startup, had close connections with Apple and Google, they've always had early access to the libraries, and so they can get previews out with the support for these new features on the day of these OS releases or within a week normally. So it's super cool. But the way it works is it has something called Xamarin.Forms. So as well as sharing business logic at a C# level or F#, you can also share, and that's called Xamarin.Forms. Now it is changing in .NET 6 to become part of .NET 6 under a new name, which is MAUI, or Multi-Application User Interface, which is going to be super exciting because it will bring in really cool things like support for the Windows templating engine. So we'll finally be able to do stuff like .NET New Xamarin.Forms, because we can't do .NET New right now, and it's kind of makes me sad. But yeah, so this is what you get when you create a blank Xamarin.Forms application. So the shared project here is .NET Standard. I'm just going to go ahead and update because I want to make sure that I've got the latest Xamarin.Forms, because hopefully then we'll have brushes. But yeah, so this is a .NET Standard 2.1 project, 2.0, and it has the pages. So by default, out of the box, you get the main page, which is the default first page that you get. So if you started the application now, you would just get a page which says welcome to Xamarin.Forms. This wants to work. See. I've not missed anything in chat. I think so. Just double check. No one wants to miss anything. My channel. Anyway. Cool. So yeah, so out of the box you get template than there was before. That's a shame. Well, anyway. Oh yeah. So this is what JFS Luce was mentioning in the chat, is that this is the new blank forms template. So previously all it had was this one single label, not even in a frame, not even in a layout, it was just this label. But yeah, so it inherits from content page, which is the sort of base level page, and then you have checkout, which, as you can imagine, just blocks of components like that. But a brand new template has some extra stuff. So out of the box, if we ran this now, we can run that in a minute to see what it looks like. But the other useful things to know in shared project is that you have partial classes. So if you've ever done ASP.NET, I think it's MVC before, Razor, that uses the whole idea of Razor.cs or HTML.cs. I can't remember, but I don't write much web stuff. But yeah, so partial classes might not be new to you if you've done web development like ASP before. But yeah, it's all partial classes. So if you want to access stuff in the code behind, like here, you could just write stuff in here. So if any of the components have their names, no, but you can set a name on these names. You can common because once you start to get into more complicated apps, deleted too much. Wait, oh, that's right. There we go. So yeah, so you can give it a, you can access it in code behind, but normally we follow a different architecture, but I'll come on to that. So main page is the first page you get out of the box. Then app.xamarin.cs is kind of config style. So that's what's saying when the app starts. It's kind of main. This is where the app will go to go, what do I do? So in this case, it's getting told that the main page is like the root page, the new main page, which you've got here. Now you might want to create a separate page, delete the page, and then change that here, but we'll come on to that. App.xamarin isn't a page. Is where you can specify application resources. So that could be stuff like a says, like, you know, for every button on the application, give it that you assign this name. We want to like I can never do this out of the box. But yeah, basically you can set application-wide theming in here and stuff, which is useful. It might be that you've got a color scheme to follow, or like brand guidelines, and you want every button to be red with white text. Having to declare it on every button you write would be painful, and you can declare styles at the top of a XAML page, but again, that would just be for the page. And then what about new pages? So this is always super useful. So I'm just going to dashboard again because it said welcome to chat. So I want to make sure I've not missed anything. If I've missed anyone's messages, please shout, and I'm very sorry. Not playing myself. Cool. So that's the main shared project for now, and then you've just got platform-specific projects, as we call them. You don't need to worry about this too much because you don't tend to go into this level unless you want to do something really custom that you can't do from the shared level. But Xamarin.Forms, the kind of shared stuff that it's supporting, is getting the list is growing longer with every release, so that's super helpful. So yeah, you don't have to go in here too often. If you've ever done native development, you'll see the layout the same. It's just it's C# classes. Excuse me. But you've got resources where normally you have your layouts, but in this case, we've just got a couple of predefined ones, not pages, just like tab bar and toolbars that you can add. And then you've got the different folders for images of different resolutions. And then main activity, where normally this would be like main and it will start the application, all this actually does is initialize Xamarin.Forms and Xamarin Essentials. I'll cover that in a sec in case you want to know what it is. And then it just loads the application and says, new app. And app is that app constructor that we saw in the app.xaml.cs in the shared. So it's pretty straightforward. And then Xamarin Essentials. So as I mentioned, the amount of like native controls or features that you might want to have access to is ever increasing in Xamarin.Forms. But traditionally, there's been lots of plugins created to help you access features from shared code without having to worry about how to do it at platform level. So simply because it's how you do it on each platform will be different. So stuff like taking the battery level, for example, how you'd tell an iOS application to be the battery status, the code would be different to how Android does it. So what plugins would do the plugin would do the work for you to do it at the iOS or Android or whatever platform level it wants to support, and then you just add it as a NuGet package into your application and start using it. So it's fantastic. But James Montemagno, who I mentioned earlier, he used to be a developer evangelist for Xamarin, but post Microsoft acquisition, he became a program manager. So he's now the principal program manager lead, I think he's now .NET Community, so he doesn't just do Xamarin, he also does .NET Foundation and loads of cool stuff with like the .NET community. But he's a very clever guy, super nice as well, but he's written loads and loads of plugins over the years. And what he ended up doing was starting a project that turned into Xamarin Essentials and all those plugins into a... Oh, that's what I mean, so that's rubbish. Tell Visual Studio to not... I suppose I should just turn that off. There we go. We're not touching that right now. But yeah, so James wrote all these plugins and then he started a project that created Xamarin Essentials, a NuGet package with all those most of the plugins that he did that refactored to quality code under the hood. But it's all there in Essentials and it's now included as a NuGet package automatically in your new project, which needs initializing, so that's what that's about. Silicon August got a scoop, but thanks for popping by, my friend. It was nice to see you. Enjoy your evening. Oh, it's nice, isn't it, when friends come by? So yeah, so that's what's going on in there. We're not going to worry about it too much, because it can be a bit intimidating. Then on the iOS level, we've got, again, it's the same, it's just different structure, but it matches what you'd expect if you've ever done iOS development in Objective-C or Swift. But as I said, we're not going to worry too much about that. If anyone's got any questions, feel free to ask, but I think hopefully now we're going to get into the crux of what's going on. So let's just close all these files. There we go. So we can make it. So I'm going to run this app now, actually, because I want you to see what you see out the box. Hopefully it will want to work. I restarted my laptop with killed the simulator because Twitch Studio kept crashing earlier. But fingers crossed, this will run. So I hate when it does this. Debug. Come on. It does this sometimes. So you have to set, I'm pretty sure you have to set Android and then switch to iOS, I think. Android, iOS. Or is this where I've updated something's broken? We can use Android, it just takes a bit longer. No fault with Xamarin Microsoft, that's Android just does a lot under the hood. I kind of not. What am I missing? Oh, okay. Lower the deployment target. Oh, yeah, there'll be a mismatch. See, live coding. So I've not done much code since I updated Visual Studio because they bring out updates quite often, and so I need to fix this. So the way we fix this is checking out like Visual Studio projects. You can right click on it and get some options. So one of these is going to be options. So if we go into it, this window might look similar, but you might see some differences. So let's build a thing. So what we're going to do. Okay. Version. Yep, that'll do. We can hope. If not, Android it is. Android's great. It's just the simulators can be quite resource. Sorry, emulators. It's Android. Simulator on iOS, emulator on Android. No idea why. It's just one of those things. Okay. Why is it? I can find it on my phone, but that's faffy. Okay, Android it is. I'll have a look at this offline. I think this is just a dependency issue. So when you want to build and deploy iOS apps, it requires a Mac because Apple insist in their end user license agreement that code for iOS or Mac OS in fact, has to be built with Xcode build tools, which is only available on Mac. You can do stuff like rent like virtual machine, Mac machine from playmaccloud.com, or you can just get something like a Mac Mini or whatever. But it just because it uses the Xcode build tools, even when it's running on a Mac like I am, there are some dependencies with Xcode. So normally you kind of decide by side so that if you're, because Xcode is what brings in the simulators, so you don't have to open Xcode to use them. Xcode has control of iOS they're running, for example, and so when you update Xcode, it automatically updates the iOS version. And you often see in release notes, it's like now supports 13.6 or whatever. And so it might just be that my Xcode's like that thing, so it's not going to work. But see. Yes, so I'll show you when it's actually running so you can see what I mean. But there's this frame here, and I'm sure it looks pretty snazzy. It's this frame I'm hoping I can apply brushes to. I haven't used the brushes yet, I've just read about them. And so I'm hoping that it looks. Connecting to the chat, let's just look down. Pop up chat. Just it just does I have brought out something recently. It means you can plug your iPhone or iPad or whatever into a Windows machine and so yeah, you have to that'd be cool. On the whole, sorry. years ago. It's obviously how many much about people but quickly. So everyone's I live in the for certain architecture, and then new ones come up. Upgrade computer, you then need you just get into that cycle where you update one thing, one part is so old that you need to update that as well to install something new. And so so I've done some upgrades to my computer, but it's just so old now that it can't really use my PC as a stream machine. And I've got a Ava Media LGBT Lite, LGP Lite, which is a USB card, 720p card, and I managed to hook it up. Actually, see my Mac, but then it didn't. It didn't update live. So even when I was moving the mouse and interacting on the computer, it just didn't appear to be doing it. And I think it's just because of graphics. Yes, I agree fully that second machines take the stress away. So my MacBook would be coping a lot better. But I don't know, $2,000 or like 1,500 Great British pounds just to have a machine that's good enough for streaming, but also you might want to go, well, I've got a PC as well, so let's play some games on it, and it doesn't need to be top spec, but it all adds up a bit. So at the moment it's just a single it's taken forever to do this. I promise, what's it say, YMMV, or your mileage may vary. So when you do this, if you've got a better machine than me, or you've got similar spec, but you're not trying to stream at the same time, you'll find that everything goes a lot quicker than this. But we're not. So I'm doing my best. Then I've got any questions. Anyone used Xamarin before and got cool stories about apps that you've made? I'm just a hobbyist, so I've never made anything that cool. I promise, once it does this one, you'll be like, she says. I guess we'll soon find out. Chat. I've got another welcome to chat room on my Twitch studio, so I'm worried about missing messages. If this carries on being slow, we'll try some Twitch Quest, because I don't know, actually Twitch Quest last time was really laggy as well. I know that the this Android app, like deploying this to Android and building it, has taken a bit longer than I expected. But how was the stream quality? Like, right? Like, are you noticing any lag or anything from the fact that my computer's like? Because I'm not. Twitch Studio has been really great for some things, but if it's not going to bring me the performance benefits, or it's potentially even worse than OBS, I might switch back. It shouldn't take too much to switch my Stream Deck over to using OBS. So it should just be a case of removing one Twitch Studio start stream and switching to something else, but we'll see. But yeah, just let me know if the quality's bad, and I'll look into if it works faster on OBS. Everyone's very quiet. Is my internet terrible? Has everyone left? Let's find out. Let's get off Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is so terrible, I often hotspot my iPhone if I'm getting fed up with a video or something. And so I used up, well, I didn't use up, I got the like 80% data usage text the other day, which when you've got 100 gig a month, is you've still got quite a lot to play with. But just being careful about. Just close and open. Let's see. Just want to make sure it still works. So, okay. This take ages. We might end up doing something else. So let's show what I was trying to do. So we can go to Microsoft Docs. You'll find loads. Xamarin. It's a really nice reason. I think it's kind of cool. We can go to so or brushes, but hopefully brush will find. Cool. So yeah, so a brush. So a brush is it came out in Xamarin.Forms 4.7, and so it is quite new, but we're going to give this a go. This was written not long ago, so hopefully it's up to date. Okay, so it's in preview. That's fine. It's just a playground. So a brush enables you to paint an area such as the background of a control. Brush support in Xamarin.Forms is available in the Forms namespace, and it supports iOS, Android, macOS, UWP, and WPF. Cool. Okay, so it's currently experimental. Oh God. I know it's like, but yeah, so Billy wants to add this brush experimental option, and there's lots of other experimental available being worked on at the moment, and so it's like, well, we're not happy to put them in the full release yet, but if you put this flag in, then you're welcome to try it out. And because all Xamarin and Xamarin.Forms stuff, or Xamarin.Forms especially, is all open source on GitHub, so you can all look at the code, download it, play with it, submit PRs, submit issues, do whatever. Flags means that you can take the risk to try something out, make feedback, or you just go, well, this works well, and I wanted this feature, so I'm just going to use it. So there's a few cool ones. So this brush that we're going to use today, carousel, so that's, you swipe and things go round in a circle. Drag and drop, so that's kind of cool. So you can do stuff like drag. I saw a demo of this at the mobile.net community stand-up last week, and yeah, you can literally drop component, bring in this video, drop it on there, and it will suddenly have the access to the. Then you've got expander, which is everyone's seen expanders. It's like the I think it's the arrow down that you click, or the sideways arrow that you click, and then faces downwards. It shows you more info. Then you've got markup. I'm not sure about that one. Media element, I think, is for playing stuff. Radio shapes. So previously, if you wanted to add shapes, even silly things like hexagons or something, you'd have to use like maybe a third-party drawing library like Sharp. So shapes is exciting. Shell is a navigation framework that you can install, so you can specify a flyout or tabs. So you can have tabs on the top or the bottom, so that you can just click it for each page. Or flyout is like the hamburger menu. You click the 3 buttons or the 3 lines. It brings it out, and you select what you want. So that's cool. But it doesn't support UWP at the moment, and so that's what this one is. And then swipe view is, swipe. That's cool. But how do we actually put this in there? So there you go. So you do it at the platform level. So we need to do to say brush. So brush is brush. You'll have to excuse my terrible scrolling. I've, as part of COVID lockdown, one of the things that I've got because I'm working from home is one of my docking stations from the office, which works on my Windows work laptop. And because it's just a Dell USB-C universal dock, it works perfectly with my MacBook, which is brilliant. It just means unplug one cable and plug another in and carry on with the keyboard and mouse. But it means I have to keep switching between the different scrolls. And I know you can set Mac to be the same scroll direction as Windows, but nah. It just means I forget sometimes. It's not brush experimental. So, I don't know what it's doing. Let's have a look. I know the text is tiny. Let's have a very good look. Okay, we'll stop this for now. Because we want to write some code. So as you saw, it said to do it in the app delegate and the main activities. App delegate is OS like main entry point. I think it's before the Xamarin, isn't it? So let's have a look. So invoking us in your main app class, enabling it must occur before. There we go. So we can go back here and we can say, okay. I probably do Control C. So it's actually you can see it's a map. So it's weird having to work out some of the symbols sometimes. I've worked out where like the hash, sharp, pound sign, whatever you want to call it, is on the keyboard on Windows. For some stuff like backslash, I've never found because the backslash on a Mac keyboard is the pound sign. But who knows? Oh, so we want to be save that. Don't need it anymore. Need to go and do the same for Android. I'm gonna have access to all this cool shiny stuff. So we can do it before Essential. That's not a problem. I'm just gonna change this to be brush. There we go. So that should give us access. Okay, so that go back to brushes then. So we've done the express flag. Okay, so the brush class is an abstract class that paints an area with its output. Classes that derive from brush describe different ways of painting an area. The following are different brush types available in Xamarin.Forms. Solid color brush, which paints an area with a solid color. Linear gradient brush, which paints a gradient. Or radial gradient brush, which paints an area with a radial gradient, so kind of out from a circle. Now we want to use linear gradients, and we'll come on to why in a minute. But yeah, so then some other stuff in here, and then like feedbacks, you can even improve the docs on GitHub. It's always cool. Also, the visual element.background property enables brushes to be used as the background in any control. So, unless I'm mistaken, I think what that means is that the background property that you might set, you now have the option to do that on the element. So why not? The reason I say that we want a linear gradient, is because we want to achieve something like this, basically. Very similar to this. I don't know, something about it's not right. I'd rather have like invert it so it goes like red, yellow, orange, and then green, and then blue, and then towards like indigo and violet. So I probably swap those around, like go. But yeah, this is the kind of thing we want to achieve. So we want to have a look at how you do it. So I want to show you that example. We won't read everything, but there you go. But the linear gradient blends two or more colours along a known line as the gradient axis. gradient stop objects are used to specify the colours in the gradient and their positions. So that's how you can have multiple colours. More information about gradient stop objects, see gradients. Cool. But okay, so you've got two properties. You've got start point and end point. Okay. And so the start point obviously is the coordinates of where it starts, and then the end is where it finishes. These properties are backed by bindable property objects, so that means that we can use data binding. So data binding is very powerful when used in conjunction with something like the model view model architecture, because it all just helps with that separation of concerns. Data binding is great because you might be reusing values in multiple places across your application. But again, it's a box, to be honest. So the linear gradient brush also has an isEmpty method that returns a ball that represents whether the brush has been assigned any gradient stop objects. Okay. And yeah, there is some CSS function. So if you're a CSS developer, you can actually just do this in CSS. I am absolutely not. We have someone telling us how to do this. So create a linear gradient brush. Okay, so linear gradient stops the position along the gradient axis. The orientation and size of the gradient can be changed using the brush's start point and end point. Okay, and then you can manipulate them to create horizontal, vertical, and diagonal gradients, reverse direction, and so on. Start point and end point are relative. That makes sense. So yeah, 0, 0 is top left, 1, 1 is top right. I guess that would be 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. So if you wanted to do it, 1, 0, I guess. 0, 1. I don't know which way around it goes. But yeah, so that following shows the gradient axis for the linear gradient brush. Great. That shows the axis. Okay, so I'm going to create one now. Linear gradient. Okay, so this is showing us how to do it in XAML, so that's great. So frame border color rate as shadow true. Yeah. Okay. So it's a frame, so that's cool. And this is that that component dot background property I was telling you about. So that's what you do here. So it's not an attribute; it's a property that you can do. So you can declare your frame with its opening and closing tags, and then inside of it you can then start doing stuff on that frame. So that's cool. So that's how you do it. But we want to do rainbows. So get one. Let's show us later on. Ooh, that's a bit cool. Let's see if we can work out where this comes from. Probably an image that someone drew, to be fair. Okay, well, what's that simple? We can experiment, right? So we know we want to start at red and we want to end at purple, so we can do that. So we want it like that, I think. Yeah, I think actually horizontal will be better than vertical. Border. A frame, sorry. So we can text in, that's not a problem. I wish it would format on save. There we go. Actually some separate lines. Sweet. I've seen that tool that I just used before. It's called Mfractor. So it's a productivity tool that's available as an extension in Visual Studio and Visual Studio for Mac. It started out on Mac, but this year it's been released on Windows and it's brilliant. If you write in Xamarin code, it's super helpful. That's what's brought in, like the format document, the nice little box that tells us that what colors they are, so using hex values rather than names. That's super helpful. Red. We can start off with this and then we can iterate on it, because I think you know what? I'm just going to get rid of the rest. So, anyway, it's cool stuff. I know it's there because you start your new project with code, but yeah, like it's just a bit extra. So we'll take it out. So we'll start with red and purple, and then we'll just add the stops as we work it out. So let's see. Let's just check the dashboard. My channel. It keeps popping up. I still have viewers. That's nice. It's just, no one said anything in a while, and I'm worried that I'm missing stuff. If I am, I'm very sorry. Have a look. Not that one. Live. Okay. So I'm not entirely convinced. But if I've missed anything, I'm really sorry. But yeah, so we've got now. If it wants to work. We can hope. What are you doing? Waiting for custom tools. If me ducking down then look really strange, it's because my webcam has a lip. I've got the Logitech C920 and it's got a lip, and my monitors have got really quite thin bezels. A bit of the camera's actually overlapping the bit of me. I'm just going to do a test. Please ignore. I'm just going to put testing mobile chat and the smiley face. Okay, so it's come up in chat. That's cool. I'm not missing anything. People are just, I'm guessing everyone's just busy lurking. That's cool. So we can just wait for this to deploy. What I can fix. Right. So I'm waiting for custom tool. Yeah, see. This is from November 2019, so you might get some answers. It's not a live stream. You don't end up on like Stack Overflow or Visual Studio Developer Community for help with something. So it's cool. Things are, it's happening. Is this going to be a Visual Studio? Okay. Wait for customers. There's a lot of text here, but. Custom tool. Quit. Nothing much in there of interest. Things I go slow today. So, lower the deployment target. I'm just curious about this because iOS is a nicer experience. Target. Info.plist. Okay, that's something new every day, right? Okay, so info.plist is targeted device family. Okay, that's not helpful. Okay, about your application and you get some configuration choices. Let's see. I'm trying to always like the answers. 5 updates is good. So after trying a bunch of suggestions, a simple fix first review, change my deployment target in info. Okay. Okay. Is this where I appreciate you sitting around? Okay. Yeah, I recently, but let's see. We just want some rainbows in our life. I bet this is where I find out that I should have just clicked yes to update my Visual Studio, which I might do in a minute if this carries on. Yeah. Yeah, I think that might be my Visual Studio is too out of date for an Xcode update that happened. So, you can good old fashioned way. Honestly, why can't we just, get on with it? I love it. I mean, to be fair, normally when you're not live, and there's not, however, currently 10, but this will also be stuck as a video on demand on YouTube. So, yeah, any number of people in the world can watch this. So, of course, stuff's going wrong. That's standard, right? I think every streamer has at least one issue every stream. I'm jealous of people who have really good internet, a really good separate streaming machine, a really good development machine, and everything's smooth. And the only thing they have to worry about is what their up peers doing. But it is what it is. We're during a global pandemic. I'm healthy. We're all here. Yeah, I'm live. I'm happy to be live. You think they'd cache this, wouldn't you? If anyone from Microsoft is actually watching this, sort this out. It's already checked. Because I closed the box, so I don't know why it's going, I don't know what the updates are. Cool. Give it a go. But yeah, so because I updated Xcode automatically on the 30th of July, it might be that Visual Studio needs an update so that the versions match. It's one of the biggest frustrations with Xamarin development, I think, is it's getting better, but there's never like version parity between Mac and Windows sometimes. It's getting a lot better. But again, there's also Xcode dependencies, so everything just has to be right. So I actually ended up writing a blog post about it, but in October last year. I went to, God, it feels like so long ago, back when we could actually leave the country. In my case, leave where I live, because my city's in a local lockdown. But, like, yeah, it's been ages. But in October, I went to Cologne in Germany for Xamarin Expert Day. Got to see a load of friends, including Gerald. And I got a notification, like we saw before, from Visual Studio to say, hey, an update's available. And normally, to be honest, Visual Studio for Mac and Visual Studio in general, the updates are pretty reliable. If you stick to stable channel and not preview, you just roll with it. There we go. And yeah, and so the pop-up popped up. So I was like, I'll be fine. You know, I'm not online. I'm going to give my talk for 2 hours. Let's just update. So I updated it. Visual Studio. Oh God, there's iOS problems. So I couldn't show. So one of the really awesome Xamarin.Forms features that came out recently is called XAML hot reload, which means that, a bit like, you know, with Watch in web development, it now automatically listens for like XAML UI changes, and well, you don't have to stop the application and restart if you change the UI. It will just constantly run. It requires no linkers to be installed, or so no linkers to be enabled, which is fine normally. But it was basically saying to me, like, oh, you can't do this with, you can't use linkers to use XAML hot reload, which I wanted to use. But then the only way to get it to work was to turn on the linker, I think it was. And the reason was to do with versions of Xcode. So my Xcode needed to update because I'd updated Visual Studio, but I had a preview of Xcode installed from when I'm from the Apple Developer Program. So it wasn't even a preview, it was like beta, which technically, so it's like pre-public preview, I think. Or it might be public preview, but yeah, I had a preview version of Xcode that I hadn't installed from App Store. I installed it from the developer portal on Apple, which is like developer.apple.com, I think. And so I wasn't seeing an update. So I was like, well, it's not telling me in App Store that I've got an update. And it didn't occur to me until later about the whole developer portal thing. So I just had to give up XAML hot reload in order to get it to work. But it meant that I was just going into this talk with a load of problems. So I should know better, really. But hey, we're all friends here, right? So just install Visual Studio, update Visual Studio, and fingers crossed it will all work. If it doesn't work, I might end the stream just because it's super humid here, as I said, and I'm kind of hot. But fingers crossed we can get there. But I promise, even if we don't end up getting this to work today, I will make sure that I can run an application with hot reload going before I stream live again. So you never know, we might even go live again tomorrow for take 2. I'd say I follow a schedule, but that's not really true. I tried to commit to streaming every Monday evening, but sometimes I found that having a strict schedule was difficult because things would come up on a Monday evening, or I wasn't in the headspace to go live, because it's quite intense having your code quality and developer skills out there for the world to see. The community is always lovely and you get a lot of support, but it's still quite scary. So I kind of put it off for a while, and then I just, as I said, I had imposter syndrome towards the end of last year, and I just couldn't face streaming because streaming, it takes a while to build momentum. And if you stream multiple times a week, you can pick up momentum quite quickly. But because I was doing it weekly, I got to a point where I would stream and no one was there. And that happens. But streams are so much more fun when they're interactive and you know that people are like learning from it and chatting and having a laugh. And so kind of between imposter syndrome and a lack of viewers when I went live, it was a bit demoralizing, so I stopped doing it for a while. So I'm kind of just trying to get back into it. But one of the things I'm trying to do to support myself to feel more able to go live again is to just go, I fancy going live, let's just do it. I know it's not great if you're someone who likes routine and like, you know, like for me, I like knowing that CLW, for example, goes live at what is 6 p.m. my time, which is 1 p.m. Eastern. Silicon Orchid goes live on a Wednesday with Layla Codes It. Layla Codes It goes live on, I think it's Mondays, Thursdays, and maybe Fridays with a Cloud Cake stream. Yeah, there's lots of streamers I really like who all follow a schedule. You know, C Sharp Fritz follows a schedule. I understand the value of a schedule because viewers can know when you're going live and they don't have to, you know, they can find time if they really want to attend to incorporate into their day or to watch. So I do understand the value of a schedule from the perspective of building a stream. But at the moment, I'm just going to go live and I feel like it. So if you're here from CLW stream earlier, one, thank you for sticking around. That's awesome. You know, you came for CLW, so the fact that you're sticking around for me means a lot. But yeah, you know, I was just watching him and I was like, do you know what? I just want to play with brushes, but I'm useless with the gradients, so maybe we can just do it as a stream. So yeah, that's why we're live. I just fancied going live. Impromptu. I didn't even announce it. Hey, Corrupted Hobo raided me with 6 viewers. Whoop! Welcome everyone. So Corrupted Hobo is one of my favourite people ever. He's like a brother to me and I've known him a very long time. But he's awesome. He does a lot of Minecraft and sometimes I think Ark. Correct me, but yeah. What's going on in my resolution? Yeah, thanks for the follow, Vet Chris. So yeah, the Corrupted Hobo is one of my favourite people, and he does a lot of Minecraft and like Ark and stuff. Mainly Minecraft, but he does really cool stuff with Minecraft. So if you like that kind of stuff, give him a follow. Where's a 480p? It'll be 480p. Have a look. That's audio mixer. I mean, to be fair, Jay, I'll take my 480p because at least I'm live, which is more than I achieve normally. Yeah, it's automatically set to 480p. I think it's because my internet's trash. Okay. But yeah, so it's also changed to 480p, I think, just for stream quality. Sorry about that. But it's a code stream. Who needs fancy? Shouldn't be. I'm installing something. I have changed to Twitch Studio. So, right, do you know what? Can I give you a call tomorrow and we'll just have a look through it together? We can just do like a test stream or something. But okay, hopefully it will change. I think Twitch Studio automatically adjusts it. But we're not reading anything right now anyway. We don't even need this. This is a file that should not be open. Yeah, that's true. There you go. You know you're live and you're like, oh, come on, you just want things to work and you're getting frustrated when you go, someone that you consider a brother, can I call you? Yeah, right, fair point. But yeah, as I said, Corrupted Hobo does Minecraft and stuff, so if you, your family, you know, your children or anything, or like, right, maybe not children because it's very much targeted at adults, but yeah, if you're like laughs, fun, fairy wings and Minecraft, go give him a follow, he's awesome. But yeah, come on, install. So if anyone's joined from Corrupted Hobo stream, basically what we're doing is attempting to do a rainbow gradient, so like it changes colours through the rainbow in a box in a mobile app, just because it'd be fun. But there's dependencies when you're like making apps and stuff. There's dependencies, so it's like you need the stuff for iOS apps. You need stuff for like Android or whatever. iOS is complicated because it still needs access to or relies on a Mac OS app called Xcode that people write code in. And so, because I'm using a different ID for Microsoft Code called Visual Studio for Mac, the versions between Visual Studio for Mac and Xcode aren't the levels like matching that they want them, I think. So I was having problems running an iOS app. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're updating Visual Studio to try and solve that problem. So we'll see. Come on. Installing Visual Studio for Mac. Come on. This is why you shouldn't update on stream, especially when you're streaming from your laptop, because between streaming, installing, and all the other things that my laptop is doing, it's probably crying at me right now. But hey, I'm still going to call this a victory, and I'm even going to play the victory sound because we don't have the audio issues that we had last time. I love having the Stream Deck, it's great. I can change the scenes and stuff, I just don't need to. It's kind of cool. We can do stuff like, I should give you what? The Stream Deck? No. Your birthday's next month, so you can have a mini if you like, but I'm not giving you mine. It's useful. This is the first stream I've even used it. Don't take it away from me. But anyway, come on. Hopefully this will install and then we can run it. As I mentioned just before you raided with everyone, Jay, is that, yeah, basically if this doesn't work, I will just go offline because I'm melting, and I will probably pick up the stream tomorrow when I fix these problems offline. But hopefully not. I've never had a solid between 10 and 20 viewers constantly before. This is great. Should get raided more often. It's one of the things I like about the streaming community is that so many streamers, when they end, and I'm going to do the same, yeah, a lot of streamers will go, right, well, I'm going offline, who should we raid? And then they'll go and support another streamer by sending all their viewers into it, and it's cool. So very supportive. So, CLW did that for me earlier, which was super kind of him. Corrupted Hobo. Oh, you don't know about my upgrade, do you? Yeah, I do, because you tweet about it. You have a banging new computer. I don't know how good it is, but you can tell me all about it tomorrow. But yeah, I know that you got one computer that was not what you asked for, sent it back and got something better. I'm pleased for you because obviously I love you, but no. You're not having my Stream Deck. Forgot I'm on Twitter. Twitter's my place. I keep Facebook because it's useful to keep an eye on, not keep an eye on, but family and stuff that you don't talk to all the time, but they post on Facebook so you can see that they're all right and their adventures and stuff. But I'm a Twitter person. But absolutely. I have the follow account as well. Not that matters, but I am quite flattered that 1,200 people think I'm worth listening to. I know some would be bots, but still. But yeah, I'm absolutely a Twitter person, and if this ever installs, you might even tweet our success. This is terrible. It's because my computer's constantly at 100% CPU. I normally phase over your tweets because they're normal coding type tweets, and I'm not smart for them. Laugh my ass off. That's not true. It's just not your area of interest. I follow your tweets just because, well, one, it's you, and two, it's about stuff I understand. You normally tweet about going live and stuff. How is your streaming going anyway? I spend a lot of time watching code streams, but I'd definitely say that if I'm going to watch something that's not coding, you're pretty much the only person I go and watch. And that can be pretty rubbish at turning up sometimes because you stream at really weird hours because you don't sleep like normal people. But I try and turn up when I can to be supportive. I know nothing about Minecraft. I mean, okay, that's not true. I've had a license since 2009 when it was you could get a lifetime I don't know what they call it, but yeah, you could. You might know about this, Jay. Back when Minecraft was not owned by Microsoft and it was all its own thing back when it was young, I'm not sure if it was unlocking extra features or unlocking online, or you just needed to do it, but you could get extra stuff in Minecraft, I think, if you bought a license. License is such a software development term, I don't know what you'd call it. But yeah, back when you could just spend like $9.99 and get a license to Minecraft, I got one, so I've always had Minecraft, I just don't play it. So I know how it works, but I don't turn up to your stream for the Minecraft. I turn up for your stream to support you and laugh at you doing the wheel of shots or whatever you call it. But that's what streaming is about, right? Sometimes you don't go for the content. You just turn up because you want to support someone. And that's why I like the tech and streaming community, because you're all right. I know that some of the much bigger gaming YouTubers and Twitchers who like go live for hours every day and they have like, you know, tens of thousands of people watching live. I'm sure they have keyboard warriors. But, you know, we're a happy place in here. Everyone's nice to each other. It's lovely. Can't remember what I did 10 minutes ago, let alone 10 years ago. Amen to that. No, I can't even say amen to that. My memory's ridiculous. I wish I was like Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory style eidetic, where I can remember, you know, exact dates, times, and like conversations and everything. But those that know me will know that like most of the stuff that I've been through most of my life, I can, if it was relevant enough in whatever way, even like sentimentally, I can remember it as like a silent film reel. So don't ask me to tell you what you said 10 months ago, but if you want me to tell you exactly what I did when I went to like London last year, I can tell you. It's strange. I think it's like an autistic spectrum thing, I don't know. My brain's like maldeveloped in some places, so I've developed skills in other areas. Can't read people's faces half the time and body language half the time. I can tell you what I did 10 months ago. Good times. I'm so impressed that 9 people are still here, considering that all you're watching me do is talk to one person and install Visual Studio. That's true love right there. I appreciate every single one of you who's still here. Spicy Ninja followed me. Nice! Like it. This is cool. Are we liking the like overlay and follower alerts and stuff? This is all stuff that I just got out of the box thanks to Twitch Studio. It's ace. I know I don't have any fancy overlays with like the latest follower or like a banner with my social media stuff, which I will update. I just wanted to do the bare minimum. Is a bit dramatic because I've done more than the bare minimum. I've set up a starting soon screen with sound playing. I've got a Be Right Back that plays a different song, which we can experiment with in a minute. But yeah, like I've set up different layouts for different events. Or like if we're just waiting for something that's not happening, we can just do that. Not anyone wants to see me on big screen, but yeah, I'm wearing a Twilio shirt. But anyway, yeah. So I've got stuff going on. Oh, yeah, that's true. You don't need social banners on your main scene. That's what the description's for. So true. And to be honest, I need to work on like not just a description, but adding in, you know, the panels that they talk about. But I don't have a schedule at the minute, so what am I going to put? But it's slow and steady, right? That's all right, Spicy Ninja. I'm just pleased that you popped by. Or anyone's welcome, whether they're lurkers or non-lurkers. So I was like, right, I'll just stick to the bare minimum. Get the stream up to a state where my laptop isn't causing background noise. You know, stuff. All right, the resolution's a bit sketchy, but at least we're live and people can hear me, which I'm calling a win. I deliberately called this like a chill chat and maybe code stream, because as I said, I am just trying out the new setup and trying to fix some of the tech problems. So the fact that I've even managed to stay live for an hour and a half, I'm calling a victory. So yeah, I promise that like things will future streams, once we sort the tech out, we'll start to have better, like, I think the follower stuff is perfect and whatnot, like the follow alerts and the box and the scenes are all great. I just need to work on the kind of static stuff. So, as J/Corrupted Hobo touched on, the whole panels and description stuff, just to make sure that it's got useful stuff. I can't put a schedule right now, but I can put my media links and whatnot. But yeah, so I promise once I get to a point where I've ironed out the kinks, because a lot of the time when I'm going live now, it's just experimenting to learn from it. So I know now that how to solve the audio problems, and I know that Twitch Studio should solve my issues. I just need to test whether OBS gives me better performance. I doubt it. I think it's just 100% CPU usage because I'm streaming. But yeah, like we sorted that out. So I now know that Visual Studio was playing up, so I can make sure that's smoother for next stream. So yeah, just I'm very sorry that stuff's been so disjointed today, and all you pretty much watched me do is install Visual Studio, fail with slow emulators, and stuff. Oh yeah, say to use your GPU instead of your CPU. Or like it might be. It's no, that's not what I wanted to say. According to my stats, 100% CPU, 1.1 gig memory, average upload of 270 kilobits per second. Slow 561 slow frames, but 0 frames dropped. But how you turn it to GPU, I don't know on Twitch Studio. Yeah. To be honest, I might ring you after stream just because it's been a while and I actually genuinely miss you, but I'm not going to be doing any tech stuff tonight. It's warm and I'm tired. But yeah, I might just call you because why not? I think it's important, isn't it, especially during lockdown and stuff, it's important to speak to the people that you care about because otherwise you just get a bit lonely. Like, I live alone, which I choose to do, and I really like it. And as I joke, I've trained for this lockdown my whole life because I'm obviously not lived alone forever, but be right back going for smoke. You can tell you had your hospital appointment today. You're giving up with your vape. Not that you're here to answer me, but yeah, because I live alone and stuff, I'm trying to make an effort to talk to people. And so, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to ring Corrupted Hobo later or tomorrow. Might be tomorrow. I'm going to ring him just because. Why not? We should all make an effort to reach out to at least one person we care about each week. Just for a chat. Oh, come on. It's not normally this slow. This is what happens when you go live. It's cool. How's everyone else found, like, this pandemic and stuff? Like, lockdowns, I've got a bit fed up with lockdown now in so much as it's weird that I can't see anyone or go anywhere. But then at the same time, when I do go places, it's much quieter, which I like. And being a proud introvert, like, I'm a proud introvert who is happy enough in their own company to have lived alone for nearly a decade. Oh God, I feel old. But yeah, so nearly a decade. I lived alone. Thankfully, Australia seems to be with Melbourne and stuff right now. It's not exactly perfect, but Australia seems to have had a handle on lockdown, Corona a lot better. I think partly due to population size versus like country size. I know a lot of them are going to start to go back to normal a little bit. But even so, being in lockdown when you're an extrovert, if you live alone, must be incredibly difficult. Well, even if you don't live alone, even if you live with like a partner or a friend, you're extrovert, you might need to be ready for more than one person. So yeah, I do generally feel for extroverts. I miss seeing 5 people, but I'm introverted and happy at home for the most part. Yeah. My mum and my stepdad, who I call my parents, they live in the middle of the country, so they're safe. They stay safe so far, but because of lockdown, it's sensible because my parents and whatnot. I've not seen them since Christmas, which even when I was at uni or the short amount of time that I went to boarding school, I still saw them more often than that. It'll come back, Jane. It's because it was thinking about its life. Yeah, yeah, a lot of things. Yeah, there are. I work home, stay home. Easily proceed. Oh, without two viewers, I guess that's quite surprising. There we go. Close everything. Oh, come on. No, the theory, we should be able to. Oh, you know, we might have a one called. Oh, yeah. It can't cope with life. I really need to get a second computer for this stuff. It's just expensive. Hate this editor. But yeah, so shortly I'll try and upgrade stream, optimize what I've got. So I just want to get to where I have enough passive income that will pay for this. That'd be nice. It'll happen, in theory. Um, even if it's just like one-off passive income that you put aside. Um, but oh, my watch just told me that Spice has followed me on Twitter. Yay, new friend. Employment target. Employment target? I think it was. Let's have a look. Employment target. Come on. Yeah. Target. I see 30.6 actually. This should work, but honestly, troubleshooting was not what I had on the agenda today. But then let's be honest. Does anyone ever just troubleshoot? Yes, right. The stream was like, oh Oh, what's his name? Luce. I can't remember his name. There's a guy on YouTube who also streams who runs a Apple device, mainly MacBook repair service, and he does a lot of videos where he tears it down and like fixes them all, because then customers come to him with horror stories of like, you know, the Apple store saying it's this, or it's like water damage, and then it's like, I didn't spill a drink on it, and then he opens it up and it's like, yeah, it's not water damage, this is broken, and he fixes it. But he live streams that fix, so technically, yeah, you do troubleshoot on a live, but that wasn't my intention personally. So let's just try Android again. If this fails, I'm just going to give up for the night, because I'm pretty sure it's just 3. What about you guys? Do you knew what Studio was, and you could VS or Studio? Getting notifications about other people going live now. But yeah, if this carries on being annoying, I will go offline. I'll go back. I promise. I'll start work offline, and then I'll just come back and be like, look, we have our playground that we started, and now we can actually do stuff with it. But we'll see what happens. I'm just going to type this because my mic's wonky. Okay, see, just type it out. Ah, come on. Right, so slow emulator, is it going to deploy the app? That's the question. Man. Yeah, it might well be this step to build for the first time and deploy for the first time is going to take an age. It always does, but it's going to take millennia. Should set the capture card up to save on resources on the laptop/PC. That's what I talked about doing. But yeah, my default that when I hooked the capture card up and tried to do it never seemed to live update. I plugged it again. Yeah, I tried to get my PC handle. My PC is set for that, mainly for that purpose, but it just couldn't handle the job. I switched to in the first place, but like the result because I was Yeah. If you're watching this on demand and you're not seeing the audio issues, yeah, basically the problems with audio, I'm just putting in the chat that it's loading. And so even though I'm going to kill the stream in a minute, because let's be honest, what's the stream when you can't hear the person? But I just wanted to experiment with this. It takes a while. Come on. But yeah, dedicated streaming machines is helpful. It's just sadly it's a choice. And at the moment, I just don't have a computer up to scratch to do it. So, yeah. See, this is just terrible. I definitely need to try and solve the problem because I definitely need to share the resources. Because as much as I love writing mobile apps and it's my favourite thing to do, it's quite a resource-intensive exercise, as you can clearly see from a nearly 2-hour stream where all we've managed to do is create a project, delete some code, stick in some gradients, and then watch it not start. Woohoo! That is productivity for you. Right. So what? Since according to Twitch, you've only got 2 viewers and everything's running at a go slow and you can't hear what I'm saying anyway, I'm gonna kill the stream. I'll write the same in chat. But for everyone that came today, thank you so much. For those that chatted, it was great to see you. For those that lurked, still good to have you. You know, if you next time, more than welcome, but no pressure. But yeah, I promise that before I go live next time, I am going to sort out these issues and get. I killed everything before I started streaming to save resources, but I should have just left it running so that we didn't have to waste time starting stuff up. But yeah, do it right. Cool. Yeah, I'm not even sure if anyone can hear me, but yeah, this has been impossible battleground and we're winning the war. Things are working, but I don't feel like an imposter while doing this. I'm just going, this happens all the time. It's fine. Cool.